and welcome to the Fantasy News Show from the Bottled Imp, exploring the realms of fantasy. My name is Ken Boyter, and coming up in today's show is Fantasy Flight announce another Talisman expansion. Oh yes, another one. More books are set to come in the Demon Cycle universe, which is good news. And also the cult classic Labyrinth is set to have a sequel. Oh blimey, can't wait for that. Anyway, welcome to a brand new show from the Bottled Imp. This is where you get all your fantasy fix for the week. It's a weekly show, so it's obviously going to be coming out every Wednesday. And we thought we would include fantasy news items that you may enjoy and may be of help and of interest to you. If you think that we can improve the show, then please leave comments like you normally do so we can make it the best show we can. Anyhow, enough of me rambling on. Let's crack on with the news. First up is some fantasy book news, and the Demon Cycle author Peter V. Brett he's confirmed that there are new books to be written in the universe. Now, the fourth book of the fifth, it's a series of 5 books basically, and the fourth book, The Skull Throne, has already been published. That was published last year. He's set to write the 5th one, and that's going to be published anywhere. I think it's 2017 is the proposed date for the 5th and final one, and that's called The Core. But he has also confirmed that he will be writing more novellas and standalone books. So that's something that we can all look forward to. Now, we have done a review of books 1 to 3 in the Demon Cycle, so you can check that out. And I am halfway through The Skull Throne, so we'll be doing a review of that, and you'll be finding out my thoughts on that very, very shortly. Also, the Bands of Mourning by Brandon Sanderson has just been published in hardback in the UK. Now, I've not really read any of these books. It's actually the second trilogy. So there was a trilogy already that was released a while back, and this is the second trilogy, and this is the third book of that trilogy. Now, I've not read them. They're actually set in the Mistborn series. So there's 2 trilogies in the Mistborn series. Now, I've not read these, but I was doing some research, came across these, and they looked really, really intriguing. The premise is that there was a Lord Ruler who has actually had access to the Well of Ascension. Oh yes. And apparently he got mighty power from this and managed to remake the world and everything about it. So in effect, I guess he becomes a god. And that's the premise. So yeah, could be good. I'm hoping it's good because it is now on the list, the fabled list of ever-increasing books and things for me to review. Next up is the fantasy film news, and Screen Rant website has reported that there is a sequel to the much-loved cult classic Labyrinth. Oh yes. Recent news that Nicole Brown from TriStar and Lisa Henson, who is the daughter of Jim Henson, they have announced that there is going to be a sequel, and they've brought on board Nicole Perlman, and she co-wrote Guardians of the Galaxy. She's been brought in to write the script. Now, she has said of Labyrinth, the original, that the film is a perfect film as it is. And therefore, she's not going to be making a reboot. It's not going to be, I don't think it's going to be an origin story. It's just going to be a continuation. In other words, a sequel. So for those of you that really, really loved Labyrinth, they're not going to ruin it, surely. And again, we have done a review of that, so you can check that out. But be careful, because you might be shocked if you do. Other film news is that coming soon in the UK is the film Pride and Prejudice and Zombies. Oh yes. So if you like your historical dramas and you like zombie films, then this will be the film for you. This will be the one where you can really, sink your teeth into. Yes, I really did say that. So that looked a lot of fun. I did start reading the novel a couple of years ago, I think, and I only read half of it. And I thought, while I was writing this, why didn't I finish it? I was a bit confused. So maybe I moved house, maybe something happened. I seem to recall that the novel was pretty good, And I did actually think, yeah, this would make a great film. The trailer looks fun, so I go and check that out. It's a big blockbuster. It's slick. It's it's got humour, and it looks like all the characters the female characters are feisty, and that they're not cliched. So I think it should be quite good. It's obviously based on Pride and Prejudice, written by, of course, Jane Austen, and also who else? It's Seth Grahame-Smith, and therefore, yes, as I say, I've read half of it. It's coming out soon. Check it out. Fancy board game news is that Talisman has got a new expansion, and it's from Fancy Flight, as you can imagine. It's called the Cataclysm. And the big news with this one is it replaces the base game board. Oh, yes. They basically have reset it, so you won't be using the base game board. You'll be using the main board. A new main board, and basically what's happened is, as the title sounds, it has been devastated. The land has been devastated, so that should be exciting. It comes with new characters as well, and new spells and new adventure cards, as you would expect. Also, there is an Elder Sign expansion. It's the third one, and it's called Omens of Ice. That's coming out, and it actually takes place outside of the museum, so they've changed the location. It's in the Alaska tundra, basically, so it's all going to get a little bit chilly. That should be out the first quarter of this year. Kickstarter news. There is a website, you've probably heard of it, called Kickstarter, and we thought we'd bring you that sort of news as well, because there are quite a lot of fantasy projects that go on there, and we're obviously going to be focusing on just one or two of them, one of which is Oddity, which is a short film, and it's created by Adam, forgive me, I don't know how to pronounce your name, Adam Shafi, I think, and also Harry Newman, and they would like to create this short film, and it looks really intriguing because it's about a boy who goes into a forest, and he's very troubled, and he meets this witch or this creature, and basically he's granted wishes, but obviously it comes at a price. And that Kickstarter project closes on the 22nd of February. It does look intriguing, so I'd check that out. Also, there's Dark Fantasy Drawings, which is a collection of selected artwork by comic artist Olga Gomer, and she has put together a selection of her favourite work that she has done over the years. It's from sketchbooks stuff, and also it's going to cover final artwork, so that looks pretty good as well. And also, the Bottled Imp has some news. Yes, we have a stand at UK Games Expo. Oh yes, we're very excited about that. It's stand D31. Now the expo runs from June the 3rd to the 5th, and it's everything to do with board games, not just fantasy board games, but there are authors there that are into fantasy, and they'll be selling their books. There's fantasy artists there. We will have a stand there, so please come by and say hello. We'll be giving you more news about that, about what we're going to be doing there as and when. The other thing is we have a brand new website. Yay! www.thebottledimp.com, as you'd expect, is where you can find brand new stuff all about the show, about us. We've got pictures up there, we've got many more things, and as the months roll by, we'll be kind of changing it and settling it in and working out exactly what we're going to be putting up there. But there's a lot of stuff there, so check that out. There we go. That's pretty much it for the first episode of the Fantasy News Show. That concludes your fantasy fix. Hopefully you've enjoyed my company and it was of interest to you. Just to let you know, if you do have anything that you think is relevant, any fancy news, so if you've got a fancy book or anything like that, that we may include it, please contact us, because we'd like to hear from you. Until next week, fellow imps, remember, keep it unreal, especially the news.